statement from Coach, then open up to questions. Coach, whenever you're ready.
Well, it felt good to be back and play a basketball game. I don't have much of a voice, and it's not because of the game. It's because I had 10 days of practice. So I had 10 days to be able to shout, scream, kick, and fuss. But nevertheless, just grateful for the win. I thought that our team did a lot of positive things that we had been stressing and trying to work on. And then there are some things that obviously we're going to continue to improve on. I said early in the presser in the press conference before the game that my team is a new team now, so it's going to take us a while to play our best basketball, which I'm okay with. Right now, our focus is just figuring out how to win games night in and night out, so that when we really start clicking on all cylinders, we'll be able to do what we expected to do when we first started the season, despite losing KK. Our team has been up and down with a lot of different changes. As you saw, Maddie was not there tonight, and that was just a personal decision. Just giving her it was a private matter. She's not hurt. She's not in trouble. She just is taking some personal time, but we expect her back, soon. I don't want to give a date, so just wanted to answer that question. And I think once we could start getting everybody back and get into the flow of things, we'll continue to grow. But was really proud. Rita, 12 and 10. On my posts, like Slim almost had a double double. Rich almost had a double double. And then the consistency of Snutter has made me proud. And our freshman point guard in Zakiah.
Yeah, I think it was a program record, 14 blocks, and I think 50 points in the paint, if I'm not mistaken. Why were you guys so successful in the paint on both ends of the court?
Well, that was just something that we really focus on. We try to play advantage basketball. So if the advantage is for us inside, that's what we want to do. And that's something that we've been focusing on for the last 9 days. And so we were able to see that. Here's the thing, like in basketball, guards play the prettiest game most times, right? But at the end of the day, a miss and a make, whether it's close or far, is the same to me, And all of my posts are pretty efficient for the most part. Rita didn't have an efficient night, but she was 6 for 7 from the free throw line. And so she got fouled. And so as far as I'm concerned, I want to spread the wealth around my team. Like, I don't want just my guards taking 12, 13 shots. I want everybody to get a piece of the pie so that it can be average, distributed throughout the team. And then when you go to play us, you can't focus on just one or two or three players. That's not the type of team that I want, and that's not the type of team that I have. We're gonna be a super team. And so we need the posts to get touches because I believe in them and I know they can score. We need the guards to get touches, and you were able to kind of see that tonight.
And I think a big turning point in the game in the second quarter, there's, I think, a 5-minute stretch. They didn't score a basket. What did you kind of tell the team in that timeout going into that stretch?
I didn't really tell them anything. I mean, it was kind of player-led. I thought Slim did a great job. Taya did a great job talking throughout. I heard her throughout the whole game. I've really been calling people to step up and lead, and she has taken that personally. And so it was really her and the team being great followers and saying, okay, let's get stops. Every game we play, we keep people in droughts. That's not something that is not normal for us. As we grow, we can't get bored, because as far as, like, I'm a coach. So for me, I'm not playing against Mississippi Valley, I'm playing against the old team that just played Southern Miss, That's who I'm playing against. I want us to be better. So every time out, I want us to be better from game 9 to game 10. And then when we play game 11, I need us to be better from game 10 to game 11. And so young people don't get that. They get caught up, they look at the score, they say, oh, everything's fine. But we miss some marks, and there'll be consequences for them next practice.
What marks did you miss?
Well, we want to keep every team, if we can, 15 or less. And they had in the third 20 points. And so, that was disappointing because for me, that's not us staying true to who we are. We scored 26 points, and in the time after the quarter, I asked the girls, I said, did you think you played well? They was like, yeah, because everyone wants to score. But I'm like, but you, and you gave up 20 points. You know what I mean? And so it's staying true to our identity and who we're going to be, and that's going to be a defensive team. You're talking to a coach that just took a team to the Sweet 16, and I think we scored, how many? I mean, I don't think Stanford scored 48 points. I respect the defensive end. I know Villanova men won a national championship scoring in the 50s, So as far as I'm concerned, we're going to be a defensive team. And so hopefully, as we continue to go through the season, you'll see us be a little bit more locked in, like I know we can.
One of their starters had 16 points, and then 3 of them you held to 0. Was it kind of a game plan to let kind of her beat you and lock down a couple players?
I don't know. I got to start saying something different. I got to start saying, let the best player score the most points and then stop the other people, because we were supposed to stop Miss McKnight, and we couldn't. I mean, she made some tough shots. I love her game. I love her competitiveness, just watching her on the film. She's passionate about it. I heard her talking on the floor. I have a lot of respect for every team we play, and I thought that they were prepared, and I thought they came out and played incredibly hard. I could hear them talking on the court, and I just thought she did a good job, Now, she had 16, she had to take 17 shots. So, I mean, maybe that's kind of a win, because I don't think if you're efficient, you need 17 to take 16. But nevertheless, the ones she made were really, really tough buckets. So respect to her for sure.
Any other questions for Coach?
And last one from me, you mentioned how it's a new team and whatnot. Just through about a month of play, where do you feel they are in the gelling period?
That's a great question. Had we had no injuries, nobody missing, I would tell you we're ready to play SEC basketball. But once we had that injury, that changed things. We have not played a game. No, we did. I'm lying. I think we played Louisville. We had everybody. Little Rock, we had everybody. So only 2 games, minus KK. When we went to Southern Miss, Slim had a concussion, and then Maddie wasn't here today. Honestly, if I'm being honest, I feel like I'm in June. I feel like I'm in preseason trying to get my team ready. And so does a bunch of other coaches. Gino, teams that have injuries, that's how it is. And so I'm not complaining, but I'm telling you, Team 49 will peak at the right time. But we're not ready to peak yet. We still have a lot of learning, gelling, buying in, being all in, being locked in. We still have a lot of that before the light turns on. But if I could get it to turn on mid-February, then now we're putting ourselves in the position to play March Madness basketball. And that's the goal.
Anything else? Great. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.